The Midwest Access, it's no secret social media plays a major role in many of our lives, including the lives of our children. But how big of an impact is it truly having? Today, we're joined by Dr. Steve Webb from Illinois. He's a professor, he is a police officer, and he's now an author. Dr. Webb, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So social media and children, we have TikTok, we have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have every other social media that our kids are using that we don't even know about. Why is social media something that you've really been focusing on?
Well, because frankly, our kids no longer come to school and find their social niche. They no longer go to church or to some type of entertainment to find their social niche. They find it on social media outside of school, and then they bring that with them into school. And those of us that didn't grow up with social media, we don't know how to handle that. So I became trained as a social media intelligence expert so I could better understand the world that the kids are living in when I was researching my book to try to figure out what's going on with these tragedies in our communities. And I'm not just talking about school shootings, I'm talking about child suicide is on the rise.
So have you worked in the schools with the kids?
This is my 30th year as a K through 12 educator, and I've been a college professor for the last 12 years.
So you deal with it quite often. So for our parents at home watching that might not be up to date on the current social media trends and some different things that we have access to on our phones, what advice would you have for parents?
Well, my advice is know what's on that phone. Parents, those are your phones. They're not your child's. They're your phones more than likely. Go find out what's on that phone, check their apps. If you see 3 calculators, no, they're not using 3 calculators, probably. 2 of them are probably vaults or cloaking apps that they're hiding apps from you. And if they've got, the Instagrams, which is one of the worst at cyberbullying, and then you add in the NGLs, the Not Going to Lie, which is an anonymous add-in for Instagram to allow people to maintain anonymity, which is dangerous. It's dangerous for kids, and it's killing our kids across the U.S.
Yeah. And what have you noticed with working with students? What are some things that you've seen that almost is heartbreaking?
Well, what I've seen is the depression starting at such a young age, and that depression is not from what's going on at school. It's what's going on in their social atmosphere, which is through technology. I mean, we're talking about as young as 12-year-old. Studies suggest that 1 in 3 children are cyberbullied and cyber harassed. So imagine a 12-year-old with an eating disorder. I've never seen that since social media started. I've seen it every single day. Kids being ashamed of their bodies because these algorithms of these social media outlets, they know how to attack and how to attach things to our children to try to keep them online. And that has to stop.
And purging something isn't going to be the answer. We can't just get rid of social media. We need to change how we're using it and how we're monitoring it. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, as we start checking those phones and we start checking those apps, go to your settings of that phone, go to each app and go back to the Play Store that it was downloaded from, and that will tell you exactly what that app is there for. And most of them will say to find new friends. Well, let me tell you, if you're finding new friends, we would never drop off our 12-year-old at the mall if we knew that there were pedophiles and criminals just laying in wait to be able to talk to those children. Well, now we're allowing them into our homes because they're being able to get to our kids through that social media. And we have to know how to identify that and talk to our children about it.
And you're fairly educated on the dark web. I personally know really nothing about it other than what I've seen on Law and Order episodes. What do parents need to know about some different areas of the internet that kids can get access to?
Well, I made myself get acquainted with the dark web because it's there and it's dangerous for children. And if you see the Tor browser or the Tor app on any of those devices, get it off. The dark web is a terrible place for kids. While it may look harmless, because it looks just like a normal search engine, once you get in, that privacy that the dark web allows you to have also allows those criminals to maintain that privacy. And when they can maintain privacy, they're going to try to attack our kids once they get on there. And they're very good at asking questions to get children to give them information that they can use against them later. And that's how many of our kidnappings take place.
What is that app again? How is it spelled?
Tor, and it looks like an onion. A lot of the domains to the dark web have a .onion on the end to let you know that you're in that dark web area.
Okay.
And it's just best to just stay away from the Tor app and anything to do with the dark web altogether as a child. There is nothing good on any of that. All of the social rooms that they're going to get on there has too much anonymity and allows too many criminals to have access to our children.
Anything else that you would like to mention to our viewers?
Just don't think you're too old to be involved in what's going on around you anymore. You have to be involved. I've got so many grandparents that are raising their grandchildren now for whatever reason, and they're looking for help. We need to, as responsible adults, as caretakers of our children, be that help, make ourselves aware of it, and don't just bury your heads in the sand. This is a new world. Tomorrow's going to be an even newer world. Understand today if you want to understand tomorrow.
All right, Dr. Steve Webb, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Definitely something that you're passionate about, and we all really should be as passionate as you are, because the safety of our kids is so important. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a great day.